An hour of chasing, dirt on his clothes, legs absolutely aching. And Lucas had caught? Nothing. Just standing there, totally breathless and defeated. But then, the old hunter approached him and did something entirely unexpected.
He didn't say a word. He just placed one stone in Lucas's left hand and one in his right. Then he asked, "Can you throw both of these at the exact same time and hit two different birds?" Lucas scoffed. "Of course not." The hunter just smiled.
And then he delivered a line that completely stopped Lucas in his tracks. He said, "Then why do you expect your life to work differently?" Think about that for a second. How often are we walking around with a stone in each hand, totally exhausted, wondering why we keep missing our targets?
Part 1. Flowing in one direction. So they're sitting under the shade of this massive old oak tree, and the hunter asks, "Do you know why most people fail?" Lucas figured, it's probably just a lack of hard work. But the hunter shook his head. Most people don't fail because they don't work hard. They actually work incredibly hard, but in way too many directions. Think about it. A river becomes this massive, powerful force, specifically because it flows in one single direction. If that same water tries to flow everywhere all at once, it loses all its momentum. It just becomes a stagnant swamp.
Lucas kind of lowered his head at this. He ended up confessing all these goals he'd abandoned over the years. Building a business, becoming a photographer, getting famous online, even just learning to play the guitar. He realized he hadn't become a master at any of them. He'd only become really good at starting over. The hunter just nodded and said, "You're not lacking talent, you're lacking focus."
Part 2. Focused effort creates fire.
To really drive this point home, the old man pulled a simple magnifying glass out of his bag. He angled it right under the bright afternoon sun. All that scattered sunlight beaming down on the forest floor was suddenly gathered and channeled into one incredibly bright, tiny point. He held it perfectly still right over a dry leaf. Within seconds, a thin wisp of smoke began to curl up.
The hunter didn't move an inch. Lucas didn't even blink. They just watched.
And then, fire. The leaf burst into this bright, consuming flame. The hunter handed the glass over to Lucas and asked him why that just happened. Lucas figured the sunlight had somehow magically gotten stronger through the glass.
"No," the hunter said gently. "The sunlight didn't get stronger. It got focused. And you know what? The human mind works the exact same way. Scattered effort creates a little bit of heat. But focused effort? That creates fire."
Part 3. Carving through solid rock.
A bit later on, they were standing by this old stone bridge, watching a narrow stream rush over the rocks beneath them. Now look at this timeline. Year 1, you've just got soft water droplets flowing. By year 50, you start seeing small grooves forming in the stone. By year 500, that solid rock is completely carved out. The water wasn't incredibly powerful in any single moment. It achieved that because it simply never stopped flowing in the exact same direction.
Part 4. Choosing less, gaining everything.
Standing by that stream, something finally clicked for Lucas. He stopped looking around for the next new thing to chase. Instead, he looked backward. He thought about everything he had abandoned way too soon. The camera, the books, the dreams. Let me ask you, what's on your list right now? Lucas realized he hadn't actually failed at any of these things. He had just walked away from them before the fire could start.
By now, the sun was setting, painting the whole forest in these deep shadows, and the hunter started packing up to leave. Lucas asked him if he would finally learn how to actually hunt tomorrow. The old man just smiled and said, "No, I'll teach you something far more valuable. The greatest hunter isn't the one who runs the fastest. It's the one who never takes his eyes off a single target."
As Lucas stood there watching him disappear into the trees, the true weight of the entire day settled in. Success really isn't about doing more. It is about choosing less and giving that one thing absolutely everything you have.
But what exactly happens when the sun rises again? What could this more valuable lesson possibly be? We'll dive into the rest of this explainer in Part 3, the 3 rules that changed everything. Until then, find your single target and don't look away.